Om Gananam Tva Ganapatigam Havamahe Kavim Kavinam Upamashravastamam Jyeshtarajam Brahmanam Brahmanaspata Anashranvanutibhisi Dasadanam Sri Mahaganadhipataye Namaha Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Om Sahana Vavatu Sahana Ubhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Dear friends, we are about to read this second mantra of the Dvitiya Valli of second Adhyaya in the Kathopanishad. That is, in the last class, we just read this mantra. That is, Hagamsa Shushishad Vasurantarikshasad Hota Vedishad Atithir Duronasad Nrushad Varasad Rutasad Vyomasad Abja Goja Rutaja Adrija Rutam Bruhat. Of course, there is a Udatta Anudatta Swaras are there for that. We read without any Udatta Anudatta Swaras. Right now, just I read this mantra like a prose. So anyway, this particular mantra talks about, it is in continuation of the earlier mantra which talked about Vimuktasya Vimuchyate Puram Ekadasha Dwaram. We read in that mantra. So what did we see in that? That is how you have to distance yourself from the body-mind complex. That Puram Ekadasha Dwaram, this 11-gated city which is this body-mind complex, it belongs to somebody. Ajasya Avakrachetasaha. This Aja who is a Jiva, Avakracheta, that is referring to Paramatma. This Jivatma and Paramatma are referred to in the same Vibhakti, in the same sentence. So it is a Samanadhikaranya. So there is an equation between Jivatma and Paramatma also which is mentioned there. And then ultimately the last line says, Vimuktasya Vimuchyate. Vimuktaha Vimuchyate. A person who is already liberated, a person who is already unbound, he gets unbound. If there is real bondage, it is not possible to remove that bondage. If the bondage is genuine, it is difficult or it is impossible to remove that bondage. This is only a sort of imaginary bondage. This is an illusory bondage. This is something because of ignorance, because it is all adhyasta. It is all an adhyasa because of our own ajnana. Because of the ignorance, a person feels bound. So, but then in reality, he is not bound. So, what Jnanam does is only to tell this chap that you are never bound. You are unnecessarily feeling that you are a bound person. So, you are a Vimukta already. So, Vimuktasya Vimuchyate. A person who is already unbound, he gets unbound. And Shankaracharya adds one more point, saying that a person who realizes like that, he will not get another birth. So, this particular mantra, the second mantra, Hagamsa Shuchishadvasurantariksasat, this is in continuation of that, telling about. So, in the earlier mantra, what did we see? We see that there is something called Atman in a body. So, a question arises as to say whether there are so many different Atmans in different bodies. A question arises. You feel that you are a Drashta. I feel that I am a Drashta. So, everybody feels he is a Drashta. So, in which case is there Atma Nanatvam, that is multiplicity of these Atmas? So, that is the question. So, this particular mantra is answering that question, saying that it is not Atma Nanatvam, but the same Atman is manifesting, the very essence of the same is manifesting in different things. So, that is the thing. And what are these different things? What we have seen in Gita also. Gita, that 7th, that 8th Adhyaya, I may be doing like this because there is no AC and then we are feeling hot. So in Gita, what did we see? Say that Adhiyajñam, Adhibhutam, Adhidaivam. So his manifestations, that is, say Brahman's manifestation at the physical level, at the Antariksha level, at the divine level, so many levels, and also at the body level, that is Adhyatma. Then Adhiyajña at the level of karma, at the level of say righteous action. So there are so many things which were told in that say 8th Adhyaya, the 2nd and 3rd shlokas. So something similar is here. 8th Adhyaya, what all we saw, Adhibhutam, Adhidaivam, Adhyatmam, Adi Yajnam, all those things. So this is it is almost similar to those two particular shlokas. So let us see the shloka, mantra, Hagamsa Shuchishat. This is Hamsa. So this is where we stopped in the last class. We did not even dwell on the meaning of the mantra. I was just trying to explain, meanwhile the time was up. So Hamsa, this Hamsa means that which moves. It comes from the root Han. Han, that is the Gatyarthaka. Gatyarthaka means that which moves. Hagamsaha Shuchishat. Shuchishat is Shuchi means Shuchau Divi. Shuchau Divi means that is Shuchi means in the sky. Divi. Dyu means sky. Divi is in the sky. That is the Saptami Vibhakti. Divi Shuchau Sidati iti Shuchishat. This Sida Dhatu is another thing which we have to observe. Shuchishat, Antariksha-sat, Vedishad, Nrushad, Varasad, Rutasad, Vyomasad, in all these things, this Sad, 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 Shad, Sad or Shad, 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 Sad sometimes becomes Shad because of the say, grammatical construction. So what is the meaning of this Sad? Upanishad, we saw this Sad in that Upanishad also. What is that Sad? Upa, Ni plus Shadl. Shadl Dhatu, it gives Shadl or Sad, one and the same. Visharana, Gati, Avasadhaneshu. In three meanings we saw, in the meaning of that Upanishad, we saw three meanings. Visharanam, that is weakening. Gati, that is movement. Avasadhanam, Avasadhanam means to remove. So what is it weakening? It is weakening all this feeling of bondage, etc. Gati, it is making you attain that Brahman. Then Avasadhanam, it is demolishing your ignorance. So in that sense, that Upanishad we knew the meaning of that Upanishad. So here the Sidati means that which dwells, dwells. Sitting, Arjuna Vishada Yoga, there again we saw that this Sida Dhatu. Sida Dhatu, something like preside, reside. So like the same Latin root, this is the same root is here also. Sidati means it resides, it dwells. Antarikshe Sidati iti Antariksha Sat. Shuchau Sidati iti Shuchi Shat. Shuchi plus Sat becomes Shuchi Shat. That grammatical, euphonic change. So Sandhi change. Then Shuchi Shat is that which moves in the sky. What is it that moves in the sky? It is the sun. Sun, moon, all these things. But in this particular mantra, it is actually a mantra from the Rigveda. We were discussing in the last class. This is a mantra from the Rigveda. Of course, it is found in some other places also. Not only in Rigveda, it is found in other places also. Same Rigveda mantras are used in Yajurveda for purpose of various yajnas. The same things are sung in Samaveda. The same things are used in a different context in Atharva Veda. So these mantras, they are repeated. So in this Brahmanam, for this same Brahmanam, this mantra is interpreted so as to refer to the sun. So Shankaracharya is going to say ultimately that whether it refers to sun or whatever it is, there is no contradiction. We are taking the Shuddha Brahman from this mantra. And in fact, this is one mantra which we also use it in our Madhyanika Sandhyavandana, that is in the afternoon Sandhyavandan. Those who do say afternoon Sandhyavandan, they use this thing for that is praising Surya. So in that Madhyanika Sandhyavandanam, it is referring to Surya. But here in this context, it is not referring to Surya. Even if it refers to Surya is again a manifestation of that Brahman. So that is why we have to take the main meaning as Brahman. That Brahman consciousness which is manifesting in so many things at so many levels. So Hagamsa Shuchishat. This Hamsa is that which is moving, always all moving, which means all pervading. All pervading. Shuchishat, that which is in the sky. Then Shuchishat Vasuhu. Vasu is, we know what is the meaning of Vasudeva? Vasati. That which dwells, that which is existing everywhere. That is what is Vasu. That which exists everywhere is Vasu. Vasuhu. Then here of course the meaning which is Shankaracharya is going to give is Vasayati Sarvan. So this is the thing which is enabling everything to exist. This is the thing, this is the essence which is enabling everything to exist. So that is Vasuhu. Then Antariksha Sat. Antariksha Sat means Antarikshe Sidati. that which is in the antariksha. Antariksha is that space, that which is in the space. That is all the celestial bodies which we see, starting from the moon and various planets, and then beyond the moon and beyond the sun, various stars and all these things. These are the things which are referred to as antariksha. Antariksha sat, hota vedishat. Hota means Agni. What we do, they say you do some havana in that, isn't it? This is hota, this is Agni. Where is this Agni located? Mainly in the house. Vedi. Vedi means you are referring to that Yajna Vedi, that sacrificial altar. The sacrificial altar is called Vedi, where you make it in different shapes. Sometimes it is a square shape, sometimes it is a triangular shape, sometimes it is some hexagon or octagon shape. So in different shapes you make the Vedi depending on the type of deity you are say worshipping there. So that is, for example, if you are doing some Chandi Yaga, you have that in the shape of a triangle. The triangle symbolizing Srushti, because that Chandi is supposed to be the mother of the universe. So that there you have to symbolize the Srushti. So there is a triangle. So that is it. Then Vigneshwara say puja, you are making it in the shape of a square. So like that, some other thing, Ashtadala, in 8 say octagon shape, you perform, you prepare that Vedi in a different shape. But in all, whatever is the shape of that Vedi, it is a place where you are having some that fire, and into that fire you are making various offerings. So that is the thing, Vedishat, Hota Vedishat. This same Brahman, the same thing, the essence of the same is existing in that Vedi too. In that Vedi, in the form of Agni. It is existing in the form of sun in the sky. Say it is existing in the form of all the celestial bodies in this Antariksha. It is existing as fire on this say ground. And by extension of meaning, it also says, Bhashyam is also saying that not only this altar, in the entire Pruthivi, Agni is there in the whole of Pruthivi. So that is what he is saying. He is saying, Hota Vedishat, then Atithihi Durona Sat. Durona seems to be some sort of jar-like thing. Droni. Have you heard the word? Do you know the word Droni? Droni. In villages, if you have seen, there used to be some water drain on top of the house. There is a water drain. Suppose it rains, and then there is all the excess water, it flows out of the drain. That drain is called Droni. English word drain. That drain is called Droni. So Droni, it is here referring to some particular patra, a particular vessel, maybe a sort of jar-like vessel, where this Somarasa was say stored. And that is supposed to be a sacred vessel where this Somarasa was stored. Somarasa, we know what is the Somarasa? No idea. We also do not know what exactly is that Somarasa, but what the Veda says is, there used to be some kind of leaf, some kind of creeper rather, some kind of creeper. These people, they used to go, get that creeper, grind that creeper, and then make this rasam, make that juice. Rasam is juice. So that is called Soma Rasam. And then how you have to go and then pick up that creeper, and then what sort of mantras you have to chant while picking it up, and then what sort of mantras you have to chant while preparing the juice. So all these things are in the Vedas. Purva Paksha, all this Veda. We are reading the ultimate portion of the Veda, that is Vedanta. That is the final chapters of Veda we are reading. But if you go into the initial chapters of Veda, there you will find various suktas, describing the procedure about how these people, they prepare carts, bullock carts. In those days, bullock carts were there, and then they used to go in that bullock carts and then bring cartloads of that creeper, and then they used to grind, and then all that process you find in different places. And also description of the same in various Brahmanas. Brahmanas are explanatory portions for these Vedas are called Brahmanas. So anyway, here this Atithihi Durona Sat. Atithi is referring to that Somarasa. Atithi, what is the meaning of Atithi? Atithi means a guest. So it is in the form of a guest in that vessel. Who is that guest? That guest is that Somarasa. That Somarasa is referred to as the guest. And this Somarasa also is, what is it? It is not different from Brahman. It is also a manifestation. This Somarasa is also a manifestation. So that is why he is referring to various manifestations starting from sun, stars, various other things, fire on earth, and also Somarasa which is there in the body, in the jar, which is a very essential part of this yajna. This Somarasa is an integral part of that yajna. And without that Somarasa, the yajna was not taking place. Now, of course, this Somarasa, God knows what happened to that Soma creeper. We do not know what is this Somarasa. There are, of course, several researches on this. What exactly is this Somarasa? Obviously, it cannot be this bhang or anything like that. It must be something else. And what happened to that creeper? We have no idea. Anyway, Atithir Duronasat Nrushad. Nru means in the human beings. In the human beings. Nara means human being. Nru is in the human being. Nrushad. Nrushad means residing in the human beings. Nrushad. Then similarly, Varasad. Vara means chosen people. Varaniya. Vrunishva. Vrunishva means you choose. Varam Vrunishva. Varaniya. That is, Vara is something who they are the chosen people. Who are these chosen people? The gods. Drushad means among the human beings. Varasad is among the gods. Varasad. So this Brahman is manifesting in the form of human beings, in the form of gods. Varasad. Then Vyomasad. Vyoma is again the sky, Akasha, which is above this Antariksha. You have referred to Divi, you have referred to Antariksha, you are now referring to Vyoma. Vyoma means beyond all this thing is Vyoma. That is Akasha, Vyomasad. Then Abja. Ab is water. Dwelling in water. Abja. In the form of all things that are born out of water. Abja. This is something which is born out of water. That is, all things, all creatures or all things which are born out of water are Abja. Then Goja. Goja is all the things which are in the form of animals. In the form of animals, and then coming from this, say, cows and all types of animals. Gavi. Pruthivyam Vrihiyavadi Rupena. The meaning given is in the Pruthivi. Go has different meanings. Go means a cow. Go means Pruthivi. Go means Indriya. Govinda. Where in the word Govinda, the word Go is Indriya. So he is Govinda is the Indriyanam Adhipati. So he is the Lord of all the Indriyas. He is the person who is impelling all these Indriyas, who is giving, illuminating all these Indriyas and then enabling these Indriyas to go out and seek objects. So that is the meaning of Govinda there. So Go has different meanings. One meaning is Pruthivi. So then one meaning is Veda also. So if you take this Niruktam, which is a dictionary on say Vedas, all the Vedic terminology, there is a dictionary called Niruktam, written long, maybe thousands of years ago, by one Muni called Yaska, Y-A-S-K-A, Yaskacharya. That book is available, of course. So there, if you see, the Go Shabda has several meanings. But here, of course, the meaning taken is either it can be taken as animals or it can be taken as Pruthivi. Pruthivyam Vrihiyavadi Rupena. All the things which are born as all types of crops, Vrihi, Yava, all types of crops, all types of food which you produce on earth. That is all Goja. Then Rutaja. Rutaja, again it is the word Ruta is coming for the second time. Nrushad, Varasad, Rutasat. Okay, we missed that Rutasat there. Rutasat. Rutam, there is, you come across this word in these expressions. Satyam vadishyami, Rutam vadishyami. So what is the meaning of Satyam and what is the Rutam? So there is a very fine distinction between Satyam and Rutam. Satyam is that Sarvakalika Satyam, Trikala Badhita Satyam, which we refer to in the case of Brahman. That thing which is eternally true, that which is always, it is never negated by anything which is past, present and future, it is not negated. That which is never negated, that which is of the nature of Brahman, that is the Satyam. Rutam is something what we, in English, what we can call it is right. In a particular context, in a particular situation, in the context of dharma, in the context of harmony, in the context of social harmony, what is say right at a particular thing or dharma, we can say, it is almost equivalent to that dharma. Or so harmony, what is harmonious for the whole cosmos, for the whole cosmic say well-being. for the whole, for the well-being of the, we can even take society, for the well-being of society, that is what is called Ruta. So there is a small distinction between this Satyam and Rutam. And sometimes the commentators, they also translate it as Satyam, because of this small distinction. So Ruta Sat, so it is dwelling in truth. So Ruta Sat, after this word Rushad, you got the word Varasad, and you got this word Rutasad. Rushad, Varasad, Rutasad, Vyoma, Sad, Abja, Goja. That is how it goes. Rushad, Varasad, Rutasad. There in that Ruta, that truth, dweller in truth. But here again, after the Goja, there is again Rutaja. Ruta here is referring to this Yajna. Yajna is something which is of the nature of karma. This is human action. This Rutam, the Rutam here is taken as Yajna. Then again another term it is coming. Adrija Rutam Bruhat. So this word Rutam is coming in coming three times, with maybe with slight variations in the meaning. So Adrija, Adri is hill. Adri is hill. Adrija, all the things which are say born out of these Adris, all these whatever precious maybe materials which are say found from the Adris, all these trees, maybe all the things which are in the shape of Adri, these are all nothing but manifestations of the same supreme thing, Adrija. Then so Shankaracharya is saying Adrijaha Parvatebhya Nadyadi Rupena Jayata. So all the rivers which are say coming out of these Adris, so that is it. Then Rutam Bruhat, then again Rutam. Rutam, here in the again here the meaning given is that which is certain, that which is bound to happen, that which is inevitable. You know, the whatever is inevitable, that it is bound to happen. Suppose there is an order, there is a world order, or there is a cosmic order. You do a particular thing and then you get the result. Rutam pibantau sukrutasya loke. We saw that word earlier. Rutam pibantau. What is that Rutam? Karma phalam. Karma phalam means that is say here that word Rutam is used to refer to something which is going to inevitably happen, inescapable, something you are definitely getting by, because of your whatever work you have done, whatever deed you have done, you are going to get the fruit for whatever action you have done. So that is the Rutam. So with slight difference, the word Rutam is used in three times in the same mantra. First in the Rutasad, there as meaning referring to truth. The second time it is referring to this Yajna. Then the third time it is referring to that which is certainly going to happen in the form of karma phala, that Rutam Pibantau you have to recall. So these three meanings it is used. Then Rutam Bruhat. Bruhat is that which is Mahan, that which is big. That which is big means that which is all pervading. That is how this mantra, initially in some places it is referred to, it is interpreted as though it is referring to say sun. But here Shankaracharya is referring, this particular Upanishad, not only Shankaracharya, this particular Upanishad is using this mantra to refer to the Supreme Brahman and his manifestations in various forms. So that is the general meaning. Is the mantra clear? Let us see the Bhashyam. Hamso hanti gacchati iti.
Hamso hanti gacchati iti.
So han dhatu, hanti. Hanti, it also gives several meanings. Han dhatu, it also means hitting. Hanti, nayam hanti na hanyate, it is beating. So han dhatu is gatyarthaka. Gatyarthaka means moving. So it shows any type of movement. It may be beating, it may be just moving, it may be just say pervading. So gacchati, here we can take it as pervading, all pervading. Gacchati. Then shuchishat, shuchishat. Shuchau divi adityatmana sidati iti. So Shuchishat is divi, that is in the sky, adityatmana sidati. It is there dwelling in the shape of Aditya. Adityatmana means in the form of Aditya. It is sidati, it is there in the sky, it is residing in the sky. Then Vasuhu Vasayati Sarvan iti. So this is again, we have seen this word several times. Vasu is Vasati. Vasati means it dwells. Vasayati sarvan, that which is enabling everything to dwell, that which is giving that existence to everything. We have come across this word sat, 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 in that nasato vidyate bhavo, na bhavo vidyate satah. That which is existing as a sat in everything. That sat is coming as anusyutataya vartate. Anusyutataya means that like a small thread in a garland, it is there in everything. That is that component of sat which is there in everything. Whatever we see, this pen is, glass is, something else is, that sat, 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 that sadbhavaha, that is what he says. Sadbhavaha means that easiness. Very often you have to go back to that shloka, nasato vidyate bhavo. If you keep on reading that, this idea of sat will stick into our mind. So here, vasati vasayati sarvan. Then vayivyatmana antarikshe sidati iti antariksha sat.
Antarikshe sidati iti antariksha sat.
Okay, vayivyatmana, that is in the form of vayu. Antarikshe, in the mid space. Antariksha, in the mid space. Sidati, it dwells. Iti antariksha sat. It dwells in the shape of Atma or in the form of Atma in the mid space. Then hota agnihi.
Hota agnihi.
Agnirvai hota iti shrutehe.
Agnirvai hota iti shrutehe.
So hota, normally the normal meaning of hota is one who actually does havan is called hota. Hota, advaryu, udgata, these are different people, different characters whom we find in a yajna. Udgata is the person who sings that sama ganam. Then hota is the person who puts all these offerings there. Advaryu, he is the man who recites Veda mantras. Then again there is a yajamani. So there are various characters who are there. So hota, the normal meaning of hota is that person. But here hota is referring to Agni. Hota, Agnirvai hota iti shrutehe. Agni indeed is hota. Agnirvai, vai means indeed. Etad vaitat, in that indeed. So Agnirvai hota iti shrutehe. Then Vedyam Pruthivyam Sidati iti Vedishat.
Sidati iti Vedishat.
Iyam Vedihi Parontah Pruthivyah Ityadi Mantravarnat. Okay. So Vedishat is referring to as Vedyam Pruthivyam Sidati iti Vedishad. Vedi, we have seen there is a restricted meaning which is referring to that particular altar. But here we are taking an extended meaning to refer to the whole of earth. Vedyam Pruthivyam Sidati iti Vedishad. How? What is the pramana for that? Iyam Vedih Parontah Pruthivyah. There is a Brahmana Vakyam which is saying that this particular Vedi is the supreme thing on this earth. Paraha Antaha Pruthivyah. So of this whole earth, this Vedi is the most sacred place. So it is referring to the whole earth. So that is why this is the center. This is the Utkrushta, Paraha, Utkrishtaha, Antaha. This is the mid space of this whole earth. So it is referring to the whole earth. So from that sense, you can refer to that, you can take that extended meaning and say that it is referring to the whole of earth. Then Ityadi Mantravarnat. Then Atithihi Somas San Durone Kalashe Sidati iti Durona Sat. So Durona, as we saw, that Drona is referring to Durona or Drona, one and the same. In fact, Drona, Acharya Drona, we know the story of Drona. How was Drona born? Drona was also born in a pot, something like a test tube baby. The modern test tube baby, you come across test tube babies in the whole of Mahabharata. All these Kauravas, they were only test tube babies. You know that? No. Please read Mahabharata. Some basic book of Bharata you have to take and then you have to read. You need not go to Vyasa's text. You take some basic text so that you will know what are the characters in Bharata, how they were born and all that. So Mahabharata, this Drona is also called Kumbha Sambhava. Kumbha means a jar. Kumbha, a pot or a jar. And all these people, Gandhari's sons, they were also, all these 100 Kauravas, they were also test tube babies. So he was born in a pot. So Drona, that is why he was called Drona. He was born in a droni or a pot or a jar, so that is why he is called Kumbha Drona. So anyway, this Durone Kalashe Sidati. Kalasha is, we know that sacred vessel, Kalasham, we know when we do puja, you have a Kalasham in which you have some holy water and then you invoke all the holy waters into that. So that is that Kalasha. Kalashe Sidati iti Duronasat. So Atithihi Somasan. So here Soma is referred to as a guest. Then Brahmanaha Atithi Rupenava Duroneshu Gruheshu Sidati iti. So Shankaracharya is giving an alternative meaning, because all these words, they give various meanings. Various levels of meaning will be there, because Shankaracharya belongs to, say, 7th century. And these things, this Rushad, Varasad, Rotasad, Vyomasad, it was written some thousands of years ago, 6,000-7,000 years ago this was written. So at that time, he has to see what was the meaning of word in that time. So at that time, all this Mimamsa was there, Sankhya was there, all these things were there. So in various Shastras, from the Vedic Rishi also, who saw this truth, he has to pick up words from whatever existing Shastras are there. So they have picked up some mantras, and then these mantras, the words have so many, they are subject to diverse interpretation. They are subject to different interpretations, in the sense that they are used in so many contexts, with so many meanings. So that is why sometimes we find Shankaracharya giving one meaning. He also says athava or else. So here Brahmana Atiturupenava Duroneshu Gruheshu Sidati. Durona, he is giving a different meaning, referring it as Gruha. Gruha means house. Brahmana Atithi Rupena Agataha Gruheshu Vasanti. That is, Brahmins, they do come as guests and then they reside. Sidati. Iti Durona Sat. So he is referring to a guest. The guest here may refer to Soma Jews, or it may refer to a Brahmin who has come to a house as a guest. Then Nrushat, Nrushu Manushyesu Sidati iti Nrushat. So that is one who is born in the shape of so many human beings. All the people, they are nothing but manifestations. Then Varasad, Vareshu Deveshu Sidati iti. That is Varasad. That is Vareshu. Vara means Deveshu. Vareshu is referring to as Deveshu, because they are the chosen people. They are the people who are, in comparison with the human beings, they are the better people. Vara is supreme. So they are better people in comparison with all these chaps, human beings. So that is why Deveshu Sidati. So in the form of Devas, the same essence, the same Brahman's essence exists. Then Rutasad, Rutam Satyam, Yajnova, Tasmin Sidati iti. So Rutam referring to as Satyam. Rutam can be in some places, it can also be Rutam and Satyam can coincide in some places. Rutam may have a different meaning in some places. It depends. So Satyam, Yajnova, or else you can take the meaning of Yajna, Yajnova, Tasmin Sidati. In that form it is manifesting. So that is why it is called Rutasad. Then Vyomasad, Vyomni Akashe Sidati iti Vyomasad. So Vyoma means that is beyond this Antariksha. There is what is called Divi, there is what is called Antariksha, there is what is called Vyoma. So various levels in this space. Antariksha refers to all these celestial beings, and then beyond that thing is Vyoma, that is space or sky. Then Vyomasad, Vyomni Akashe Sidati. In the Akasha also he is there, that is beyond all these things, he is there. Then Abja, Apsu, Shankha Shukti Makaradi Rupena Jayate iti. So Apsu means in the waters. In the waters, the same thing is born in the form of so many things. Shankha, Shukti, Makara, Adi Rupena Jayate. You have this Shankha means a conch. Shukti Shukti is that, say that, what is that? Pearls. The pearl again is from a small sea animal only. Pearl, which we see, is from a small animal. That shell of that animal, into that some water drop goes, and then that water drop becomes a pearl in that particular animal. So it is a sea animal. Shankha, Shukti, Makara. Makara is crocodile. So in all those shapes, Makara, Adi, Rupe, Jayate iti, that is Abja. Abja is that which is born in the form of so many aquatic animals. So then Goja, Gavi Pruthivyam, Vrihi Yavadi Rupena Jayate iti. So Pruthivyam on the earth, Vrihi Yava Adi Rupena. Vrihi is a dhanyam, it is a cereal. Yava is another cereal. All this wheat, rice in these forms. Vrihi is actually rice. Yava is Godhuma, that is wheat. So Adi, all types of cereals in the form of so many cereals and various other food items, it is seen. Then Rutaja, Yajnanga Rupena Jayate iti. So here again, Ruta, the meaning of Ruta is given as Yajna. Yajna Anga Rupena. Yajnanga means as part of Yajna. Rutaja, Jayate iti. Then Adrija, Parvatebhyaha Nadyadi Rupena Jayate iti. So Adrija, Adri, as I said, is a hill or a mountain. From those mountains, Parvatebhyaha Nadyadi Rupena Jayate, in the form of, say, somewhere, some fountain, some Gangotri, Yamunotri, all these things are there, some water, say the place of origin of all those, most of the hills, they are the place of origin for so many rivers. So from those Adris, these rivers flow. So Nadyadi Rupena Jayate. Then Sarvatma San Rutam Avitatha Swabhava Eva. So here it is Rutam Avitatha. Vitatha means going waste. Avitatha means not going waste. That is not changing, totally unchanging. Something which is eternal, something which is Satyam, something which is certain. Avitatha is something which is certain, Satya Swarupa. Avitatha Swabhava Eva. So that is the nature of this Brahman. Sarvatma San. Though he is in the shape of so many things, it is not as though he is undergoing some modification or anything like that. He is not undergoing any modification. Though he is appearing in so many forms, he is one and the same. He is not changing. He is something which is certain. That is Satyam. In that sense, it is using as certain. So for the second word Rutam, the first word Rutam he just referred to as truth. Second Rutam he is referring to Yajna. So Yajnaja, what did we see here? Yajnanga Rupena Jayate. That is the Yajnanga Rupena, that is Karma Phala, and in that sense he has used. This third thing he is using it as Avitata Swabhavaha, that which is unchanging, that particular cosmic order, which is that which is the cosmic harmony, which is giving you this Karma Phala and whatnot. And then it is something which is unchanging, by itself it is something unchanging. So from that sense, there three different meanings are given to the word Rutam in the same mantra. Sarvatma San Rutam Avitatha Swabhava Eva. Avitatha, something which is not changing, something which is certain. So that sort of Swabhava. Then Bruhat Mahan Sarvakaranatvat. So Bruhat is bright. In fact, the Bruhat and bright are cognate words, but then here Bruhat is Mahan, that which is Mahan. Bruhat is quite big, something which is quite big, that is all pervading. Sarva Karanatvat. This is the Karanam for everything. So for everything on earth, the human mind is trained or is so constructed or so built rather, that we always try to see this Karya Karana Bhava. That is, you want to see when you see something, what is this is an effect and what is the cause for this. So a human mind is trained to think in the form of Karya Karana Bhava. So when you go on from Karanam to Karanam and then from that Karanam to its Karanam, so ultimately you end up there. Ultimately you end up in Brahman. So that Brahman, he is the Sarva Karanatvat, Sarva Karanam. That is, he is the Karanam for everything. He is, from that only all things are manifesting. So he is the Sarva Karanam. Then Yadapi Aditya eva mantrena uchyate Tadapi Asya Atma Swarupatvam Adityasya Ityangi Krutatvat Brahmana Vyakyanepi Avirodhaha. So he is referring to that Brahmana Vakyam. Brahmana means not a Brahmin. Brahmana, as I said, is a commentary or explanatory portion for the Vedas. They are called Brahmanas. Veda is there, that is called Samhita. Samhita is one and Brahmana is different. Brahmana is that explanatory portion. So in that explanatory portion, that is Brahmana Vyakhyane, what is it that is said? It is said that it is this mantra is referring to sun god. So even if it is so, even if it were to be so, that is Yadapi Aditya eva mantrena uchyate. Even if you assume that Aditya is being told in this mantra, even if you assume that it is referring to Aditya, Tadapi means even then, even in that case, Asya Atma Swarupatvam Adityasya Angikrutatvat. Sun also is not different from that Atma. Sun is also a small manifestation in that Supreme Atman only. So it is not different from that Atma. So Tasya Atma Swarupatvam Adityasya Iti Angikrutatvat. So it is very well known, or it is very well agreed. Angikrutatvat means because it is agreed that Sun is not different from that Supreme Atman. So it doesn't matter. Brahmana Vakya, in that context, he may be referring to Sun. In that particular mantra, in that particular usage, he may be referring to that. But we can, there is no contradiction if we say that it is referring to Supreme Brahman. Iti avirodha. Avirodha means no contradiction. Virodha is contradiction. Avirodha is no contradiction. Then Sarvavyapi Ekayeva Atma Jagataha Na Atma Bheda iti mantrarthaha. So Sarvavyapi Ekayeva Atma Jagataha. That is for this whole, whatever is seen as Drishyam, Jagat. Jagat is that which is Drishyam, isn't it? Yes. The whole universe. Jagat, we should not take a restricted meaning of referring to earth only. Jagat, you have to take the whole universe, whatever Brahmanda or collection of Brahmandas, several Brahmandas. The whole thing is Jagat. Gacchati iti Jagat. Jangamyate iti Jagat. That which keeps on changing is Jagat. That is the meaning of Jagat. So this Jagat, this entire thing is illuminated by that one Atma only, by one consciousness. That basic one principle which is illuminating the whole thing is that the basic Brahman consciousness. So Sarvavyapi, that is all pervading, Ekayeva Atma, one and only one Atman is there in the Jagat. Na Atma Bhedaha, there is no difference in these Atmans. So as we saw in that Gita, Adhibhutam, Adhyatmam, Adhidaivam, all these things, they are one and the same. They are manifestations only at different levels. Because the human mind is trained to see the difference, we are seeing the difference. So that is the point. Na Atma Bhedaha iti mantrarthaha. Then Atmanaha Swarupadhigame Lingam Uchyate. Atmanaha Swarupadhigame. Swarupasya Adhigama. That is, in order to understand the real nature, or Atma is existing to show that what is the lingam, what is the indication. What is the indication to show that there is something called Atman which is distinct from the body. Atma is not body, but Atma is something which is distinct from the body. So that is why he is saying this is something which is the basic life force. Atma is appearing as the basic life force in the human body, which is being explained in this third mantra. Let us read the mantra. Urdhvam prana munnayati apanam pratyagasyati madhye vamanamasinam vishve deva upasate. Okay. Urdhvam prana munnayati. It is a very simple mantra where it is just referring to exhalation and inhalation. Exhalation is when you let out air, when you let the air out, it is exhalation, breathing out. Breathing in is inhalation. So that is prana. Normally, when you are not a student of Vedanta, you feel that prana is inhaling and then exhaling is apana. That is what we normally feel. Somehow that wrong opinion is there. We do not know how. But then when you see in Vedanta and Yoga Shastra, prana is exhalation and apana is inhalation. Apana is taking the gas, taking the air in, and then prana is exhaling. In fact, I just checked up in Gambhirananda also. Gambhirananda also has written in the same manner. That is, prana is, that is exhalation. Apana is inhalation. So, urdhvam pranam unnayati. He is referring to some entity which is causing these actions in the body. There is what is called prana vritti, that is air going out. Apana vritti, that is air coming in. This prana vritti is being told first. Pranam unnayati. Uttnayati means it pushes up. Ut is up. Ut is up. Nayati takes. It leads up. Nayati. Nayakaha. You should always remember the root words. If you remember the roots, I need not tell the meaning again. You will yourself know the meaning. So, Uttnayati, it leads up. Unnayati. What is it doing? Urdhvam pranam unnayati. Pranam unnayati. It is pushing the air up. Up means up out of the body. Urdhvam pranam unnayati. Apanam pratyagasyati. Apanam, this apana vayu, it is taking inwards, pushing inwards. It is pushing asyati. It is pushing inwards. Apanam pratyagasya. Pratyag is inside, inward or downward. It is pushing downward or pushing inward. So that is the meaning. Pratyak we know. Pratyak, the meaning of pratyak is inside, isn't it? Yeah. Pratyagasyati. Then madhye vamanamasinam vishve deva upasate. Madhye, in this body, that vamana is existing. Vamana. What is this vamana? The meaning of vamana, the etymology, the actual literal meaning of vamana is somebody who is very handsome. Vamana. A very dwarfish type of person, a very handsome type of person is a vamana. We know this Vamana Avatara. Yeah. Vamana Avatara, Lord Vishnu comes in the form of a young bachelor, a small bachelor, and then that bachelor he goes and then he requests Valli. He asks he does some yachana, and then he asks say for land, say which is measuring only 3 feet. So then he says, okay, 3 feet land I will give. Though his guru, he is Shukracharya, he tells him, he warns him in advance, don't give, this man is Vishnu only in disguise. He wants to suppress you, put you down, and then say he will take away your whole Rajyam. So then he said, no, when somebody asks, I have to give, so that is my vratam. So he gives it. So with 1 foot he occupies the whole ground, another foot he occupies the whole sky, and then the another foot he says, where should I keep the third foot? Third foot, okay, please put it on my head. So he puts it on the head and then sends him into Patala Loka and makes him king there, whatever it is. So anyway, that is a very symbolic story. It's a very symbolic story. Unless we know the full meaning and then we see the whole context, we should not venture any type of unnecessary things. Because this Bali Vamana story is subject to so many misinterpretations. Nowadays we find some of these communist people. Have you come across this word or not? No. Bali Vamana. Yeah, Bali Vamana, the communist writers are saying, they are interpreting as though this is the forward caste who have suppressed this Bali. So it is not at all the spirit in the Purana. The spirit in the Purana is totally different. So some say communists combined with some evangelists, they are giving this all types of ugly interpretations to our Puranas. So when we read our Puranas, we have to read with a background of Vedanta. If you do not read Purana with a background of Vedanta, you are going to misinterpret it. You will fall into the trap of say all our great friends. So Madhye Vamana Masinam. This Vamana is there in the middle. Middle means in the middle of the body. We are referring to the Angushtamatra Purushaha. We are referring to this thumb-sized person. So Madhye Vamana Masinam Vishve Deva Upasate. Vishve Devaha, that is all deities. What are these deities? All the Indriyas. All these Indriyas, they serve this particular deity. Upasate. Upa plus asate. Asate, upasate, is it singular or plural? Upasate. It looks like singular. Aste, asate, asate. As dhatu. Asu, as means to sit. Aste, it is, it sits. Asate, asate, upasate. So upasate means it is a plural. It is a plural word which says upa is an upasarga. Asate is the dhatu, the dhatu form. So upa plus asate, upasate. They do upasana. What is the meaning of upasana? Serve. Upasate. All these indriyas, they serve this particular entity which is there, Angushtamatra Purusha, which is there in the body, which is which is also the life force, which is the life force in this body. So that is being worshipped by all these indriyas. And once that pranam goes away, all these indriyas become dead. In fact, in the Upanishads, there are some passages here and there. There is a sort of, say, all the indriyas, they start fighting, I am superior, I am superior. Then okay, all these indriyas, one after the other, they all disappear, but nothing happens to the body. And ultimately the prana says, okay, let me also try to go out. When the prana tries to go, then all the indriyas, they fall weak. Then they cry, oh, don't go, we are all dying. So then they all recognize that prana is the most vital thing. So this sort of thing is there in Upanishads. There are 2-3 places which this story comes in this Upanishads. So anyway, this prana is being explained in this particular mantra. The importance of prana, and then because of this Brahma Chaitanya, and that Chaitanya is the thing which is responsible for this prana too. So here is the shloka clear? Madhye Vamanam Asinam Vishve Deva, that is all devas, all the indriyas, upasate, they serve. They are all subservient, they subserve. Then Urdhvam Hrudayat Pranam Pranavrittim Vayum Unnayati Urdhvam Gamayati. So Urdhvam means up, where Hrudayat Urdhvam, from the heart or from the center of the body. Hrudayat Pranam Pranavrittim, there is a Pranavritti. Pranavritti means that process of where that Vayu goes out. Pranavrittim Vayum Unnayati Urdhvam Gamayati. Ut means up. Urdhvam Gamayati means it sends out. Urdhvam Gamayati, it sends out, it pushes out. Then Tatha Apanam Pratyak Adhaha Asyati Kshipati Yaha iti Vakya Sheshaha. So that which Urdhvam Pranamunnayati Apanam Pratyagasyati Yaha, that which. So that Yaha we have to imagine. That is why he is saying Yaha iti Vakya Sheshaha. Vakya Shesha means it is not mentioned in the text, but that Yaha you have to apply. You have to presume here. Urdhvam Yaha Pranamunnayati Yaha Apanam Pratyagasyati Tam Deva Upasate. That sort of Anvaya we have to say, take. So Apanam Pratyak Adhaha. Pratyak means inside. And Adhaha, downwards. Asyati. Asyati means Gamayati. Asyati Kshipati. Iti Vakya Kshipati. That is Urdhvam Pranamunnayati Apanam Pratyagasyati. This is the thing which is pushing the air in. Tam Madhye Hrudaya Pundarika Akashe Asinam Buddhau Abhivyakta Vijnana Prakashanam Vamanam Sambhajaniyam Sarve Vishve Devaha Chakshuradaya Pranaha Rupadi Vijnanam Balim Upaharantaha Vishayiva Rajanam Upasate. So for this word Vamana, Shankaracharya is giving a very beautiful explanation, saying that Tam Madhye Hrudaya Pundarika Kashe Asinam. We have come across this word called Hrudaya Pundarika. So there is a Pundarika. Pundarika is a lotus. And the heart, human heart, is compared to a lotus. Heart, when we say heart, we should not refer to heart, we should refer to buddhi. That's Sahasrara as we call it. In that, Asinam, Buddhau Abhivyakta Vijnana Prakashanam. So that which is Abhivyakta in the buddhi. Abhivyakta means manifest. Abhivyakta, Buddhau Abhivyakta. Manifest in the buddhi. What is that? What is it that is manifest? Vijnana prakashanam. In that buddhi, this vijnana is being reflected. Brahman's consciousness is reflected in this buddhi. Buddhau abhivyaktam, it is manifest in that. Madhye asinam vamanam sambhajaniyam. For the word vamana, he is giving the meaning as sambhajaniyam. Bhajaniyam is someone who is praiseworthy. Sambhajaniyam. Sam is only an upasarga. Sam plus bhajaniyam. He is really praiseworthy. Sam is samyak. He should be praised. Why? Why should he be praised? Because he is the one who is manifest in the form of buddhi, in the form of vijnana. Then sarve vishve. Sarve means vishve. The meaning of vishve is sarve. Sarve means all. Then devaha chakshuradaya pranaha. Devaha. The word deva also has several meanings. Deva is similarly like we talked about Gau just now. Deva means Dyotanatmaka. Dyotana means that which is shining. Shining means that which is able to understand, that which is able to say cognize things, that which is able to, those which are able to perceive, they are the Devas. So it can refer to deities, the gods who are there in the sky. It can refer to the Indriyas which are there in our body, which are of the nature of brilliance, which are of the nature of illumination. Because these Indriyas are functioning, we are able to receive information, we are able to have knowledge. These are the things which are giving knowledge, isn't it? So that is why they are called Devaha. Devaha Chakshuradaya. Chakshuradaya means eye, etc. Eye and so on, all these things. How are they serving? Chakshuradaya upasate. They all worship or they all subserve. How are they subserving? That is by getting all these sensory impressions. By getting all these sensory impressions, my eye is there. My eye is serving this Atma by getting that impression from outside. Then my skin is serving this Atma by feeling this touch. Then my nose is also serving this Atma by feeling this smell, by this smell. So all these things, they are processed in my mind, and my mind also is serving this Atma. So all these things, they are in a way upasate. This is the, whatever these Indriyas are bringing, it is a type of Bali. Bali means the offering which we give. Bali is something which you give. Say even when you have seen this, if you, in our own Hyderabad city, if you have seen for this Ganesha Nimajjan also, they throw this, they sprinkle this rice, say mixed with vermilion. Rice mixed with vermilion, that kumkum. So they just sprinkle. They call it Bali. So they call it Bali, isn't it? Bali is that which is offered. So what are the senses offering to this Vamana? Senses are bringing all these external impressions. All these impressions are brought by the same senses and given to the mind, and mind is again giving and processing, and say it is taking action on that. So in a way, they are, in a sense, Balim upaharantaha. Balim upaharanti. They bring and present it. Upaharanti means they present it. Upahara means there is a present. Upaharanti means they present it. All these things are brought and presented like, say, all these people who go and give some various presents to the king. So we have seen, we know this feudal structure. In this feudal structure, what do they do? All these, say, merchants and all these people, they take various gifts and then they go and present it to the king, isn't it? So that is the same example it is giving here. It is given here. Balim upaharantaha vishaiva rajanam upasate. Rajanam vishaiva. Vishaha means all these business people. Vishaha, Vaishya. Visha also means citizen, all the citizens. Visha not only refers to Vaishya, it refers to all citizens. But here a specific, Visha, of course, we need not take Vaishya only. Visha is basically citizen, all citizens. They take various gifts and give to the king, because they are supposed to be in the good books of the king. So that is why, so like that, all these Indriyas, they present all these sensory impressions before that Raja, who is the Atma. Rajanam upasate. Tadarthyena anuparata vyapara bhavanti ityarthaha. So tadarthyena means for the sake of it. for the benefit of that Raja, for the benefit of Raja who is Atma here, for the benefit of Raja. Tadarthyena means tadartham. Tadartham means for the sake, for its sake. Tadartham. Tadarthyena means for the sake of that, for the sake of that Atma. Anuparata vyaparaha bhavanti. So they are perpetually engaged in action. Anuparata. Uparata means withdrawing. Anuparata means not withdrawing. You are always engaged. You are always engaged in action. You are always engaged in perceiving things. So my eyes are always seeing, my nose is always breathing, my sharma, my tvak is always receiving the sensory impressions. Similarly, all the five indriyas, they are receiving impressions and then presenting before this Lord who is called Atma. So, tadarthyena anuparata vyaparaha bhavanti. Anuparata, incessant, not stopping vyaparaha. Vyapara means activity. Vyapara does not mean business. Vyapara means activity. Vyaparaha bhavanti ityartha. Yadarthaha यत् प्रयुक्ताश्च सर्वे वायुकरण व्यापाराः सः अन्यः सिद्ध इति वाक्यार्थः. So यदर्थः यत् प्रयुक्ताश्च सर्वे वायुकरण व्यापाराः. So that particular person for whose sake all these things are working and by whom all are say engaged, by whom all are ordered, yat prayuktascha, they are all prayuktaha. Prayuktaha means they are all ordered, they are all employed rather, they are all employed by the same one. Yat prayuktaha. Prayojana, we know the word prayojana. Prayojana, this kata form is tavat pratyaya, if you add it becomes prayukta. That those who have been engaged, those who have been ordered, those who have been employed. So, yadarthaha yat prayuktaha, that entity, yadarthaha means that entity for whose sake, and that entity by which all these things are engaged, yat prayuktaha, then that thing, sarva vayu karana vyaparaha, all this karana vyaparaha, indriya vyaparaha, then saha anyaha siddhaha, and that particular entity is something which is different from all this. Iti siddhaha means this shloka, this particular mantra says that that particular entity which is actually impelling all the sense organs to go and then get all these sensory impressions, that entity is something which is different from this Atma. Like this Raja who is getting all these gifts from these citizens, and then Raja is something different. Raja is something different from the citizens. So likewise, this Lord of this body is something or somebody which is different from this body-mind complex. So, iti siddhaha iti vakyarthaha. So, time is over, we will stop here. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi.